Hello and welcome to this tutorial by MrMcMillanREvis, making revision easier. This tutorial is part of a series on Edexcel GCSE Religious Studies, Unit 3.4, Religion and Community Cohesion. In this final part we will look at issues surrounding living in a multi-faith society. Why is the UK called a multi-faith society? A multi-faith society is a society in which many different religions coexist and in which people have religious freedom to follow the religion of their choice. In the UK, since the 4th century, Christianity, which arrived with the Roman Empire, has been the majority religion. During the English Reformation in the 16th century, Henry VIII made the Church of England the established religion, and this meant that no one was allowed to worship outside of the authority of the Anglican Church. This led to many nonconformist Christians, sometimes referred to as Puritans, emigrating to America in search of the religious freedom which they did not have in the UK. In 1689, the passing of the Toleration Act meant that some non-Anglican Christians were allowed the freedom to worship, although this did not extend to other religious groups. For example, although there were groups of Jews, Muslims and Catholics in the UK, they were not granted freedom to worship until the 1800s. Today, as the result of the multi-ethnic nature of the UK, the country is multi-faith, with communities from all of the major religions represented, although Christianity is still the largest group. Religious freedom is now written into UK law and is supported by the UN Declaration of Human Rights. However, the UK does still have an established religion, the Church of England, which enjoys some privileges as a result. For example, 26 bishops of the Church of England are always represented in the House of Lords, being able to affect decisions made in Parliament. What are the advantages of living in a multi-faith society? Living in a multi-faith society can provide a number of advantages. Firstly, in a multi-faith society where religious freedom is protected by law, citizens are provided with the freedom to practice the religion of their choice without discrimination. This is not the case in all countries. For example, China, Morocco, Saudi Arabia and India do not have absolute religious freedom. In some of these countries, it is an offence to do things such as change religion, preach publicly about your religion, or to hold a religious gathering. Secondly, in a multi-faith society, people are more likely to encounter and learn from people of other religions, which encourages tolerance and understanding between different religious groups. The interfaith movement is an example of this in practice, where members of different faith communities aim to promote better relations between religions. Thirdly, as a result of increasing tolerance between faith communities, conflicts between such groups are diminished. For example, anti-Semitism, which is discrimination against people of Jewish descent, has decreased, and this could be the result of greater tolerance and understanding between faiths. What are the disadvantages of living in a multi-faith society? Although multi-faith societies have their advantages, there are a number of problems that can be caused by living in a multi-faith society. Firstly, conversion. Some religious groups believe it is their duty to try to convert non-members to their particular beliefs. This is sometimes called proselytizing. The Jehovah's Witnesses are perhaps the most famous example of a proselytizing community, as they are well known for knocking on people's doors to share their faith with others. Some people believe that this is incompatible with a multi-faith society, as it can lead to conflict or it does not show respect to people's religious freedom. Secondly, interfaith marriages. In a multi-faith society, it is common for people of different faith backgrounds to choose to marry one another. This can cause problems for the couples themselves, as it may be difficult to decide in which place of worship they should get married. It can also cause problems for the family of the couple, who can sometimes find it difficult to accept that a person can marry someone outside of their own religion. For example, some Muslims believe it is wrong to marry a non-Muslim. This can lead to tensions among families who find themselves in this situation. Furthermore, in an interfaith marriage it can be difficult for parents to know whether to bring up their children in one religion or the other, or both, or even none. Thirdly is the issue of bringing up children itself. In a multi-faith society where people have religious freedom, children will grow up with the freedom to practice whatever faith, or none, that they choose. Most religions encourage parents to bring up their children into the faith. This can lead to various potential conflicts. For example, some people would say it is immoral to force children to participate in religious initiation ceremonies. For example, in 2012, Germany banned infant circumcision. This caused problems for Jewish communities where infant circumcision is seen as a religious duty. Furthermore, some people argue that in a multi-faith society, it is wrong to bring up children into a faith at all, because this is indoctrination. But rather children should be left to decide for themselves. For this reason, some groups campaign against faith schools. What are the different Christian attitudes to people of other religions? For Christians, the question of what to make of other religions and will non-Christians go to heaven are very important. There are broadly three main views on these issues. They are called the inclusivist view, the exclusivist view, and the pluralist view. Ultimately, this issue comes down to a question of who has the truth. Firstly, there is the inclusivist view, which is held by the Catholic Church as well as some other Christians. In this view, Christianity has the whole truth. In other words, Jesus truly is the Son of God. God truly is a Trinity. Christians truly must love their neighbour. However, other religions may also have some truth within them. So while the Church teaches that those who repent and are baptised will be saved and go to heaven, the Church says it is possible that some people outside the Church may also be saved. The Catechism says that those who through no fault of their own do not know the gospel of Christ, but who seek God with a sincere heart and try in their actions to do His will, may achieve everlasting salvation. The German Catholic theologian Karl Rahner coined the term anonymous Christian to refer to non-Christians who might receive salvation, not because they had heard of Jesus, but through their actions. Secondly, there is the exclusivist view, which is common among evangelical Protestant Christians. This view holds that Christianity is the whole truth, and therefore any non-Christian religions do not have the truth. In other words, they are false. Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." Evangelicals believe that this means that only Christians will go to heaven and non-Christians will go to hell. It is for this reason that evangelicals place a high emphasis on evangelism, which means to spread the gospel in the hope of converting people to Christ. In Matthew 28, Jesus commissions the apostles to go and make disciples of all nations, and therefore it is common for evangelicals to organise events and missions that seek to convert non-Christians. Thirdly is the pluralist view, which is common among liberal Protestant Christians. This view says that all religions are equal, and no religion can claim to have found the whole truth. All religions are different paths to God. Liberal Protestants believe that when Jesus said, "In my Father's house there are many rooms," he meant that not just those who follow him would go to heaven. There is a story called The Blind Men and the Elephant, which is often used by pluralists to demonstrate that no religion can rightly claim to have the whole truth. In the story, some blind men come across an elephant, and each attempts to describe what the elephant is like. But because each approaches a different part of the animal, for example the tail, or the tusk, or the leg, or the trunk, they each come to a different conclusion as to what the elephant is like. For example, a wall, or a tree, or a spear, or a snake. None of them individually are accurate. So too with religion, each religion only has part of the truth about God, and so no religion can claim to have the whole truth. So in conclusion, the UK is a multi-faith society. This means it is a society in which many religions coexist, and everyone is guaranteed religious freedom to practice the faith of their choice. Living in a multi-faith society has some advantages, but it also creates some problems. The advantages are that it protects religious freedom to worship, it promotes tolerance and understanding between faiths, and it reduces conflict between faith communities. The problems are that it can lead to people trying to convert others to their religion. Interfaith marriages can cause tension among couples and families as they try to follow their own religions. It may also cause tension as people bring up children into one faith while respecting the child's right to religious freedom also. Christians have three different views on people of other religions. The inclusivist view, held by Catholics, says that Christianity has the whole truth, but other religions may have some truth, and some non-Christians may go to heaven. The exclusivist view, held by evangelicals, says that Christianity is the truth, other religions are false, and therefore only Christians will go to heaven. The pluralist view, held by liberal Protestants, says that all religions are different paths to God. Thanks for watching. I've been Mr. McMillan. Remember, you can download audio versions of all my videos from iTunes.